Producers, here are some tips to help you transition from the day job into full-time entrepreneurship as a music producer. Let's dig into them. What's up, people? This is Clint with Airbit.com, and I'm here with you today to share with you some tips that will hopefully help you transition from the day job to full-time producer. Now, one of the concerns that a lot of producers have is, how do I know when's a good time to transition? How long will it take for me to transition from the day job to full-time producer? And how do I know what to look for and when the time is actually right? Well, the answer is it's going to depend, and it's going to be different for everyone and their situation. Some producers may be able to take a little more risk than others, and that may allow them to get there a little bit faster. But everybody's in different situations. But no matter which situation you're in, I'm going to share tips with you today that's going to help you. So the first thing you have to be is 100% committed to this goal of becoming a producer full time. Whatever that may look like for you, you have to be 100% committed. You can't put in 20, 30, 50% and then expect amazing results, right? 100%. You have to keep that goal in mind. If you don't, you're going to remain stagnant and you're going to get comfortable where you are, comfortable in your situation, and that's not going to promote growth. So be 100% committed and always on the move and looking towards the future and where you want to be. The second thing is you have to be willing to make sacrifices. So what do sacrifices look like? I don't know. It may be different for you, but a sacrifice may be staying up later when you have to work up early for work the next morning. It may be waking up even earlier the next morning so you can get some music done before you go to work. It's going to be, getting rid of some things that you may love or may love to do. You may have to temporarily put a hold on those things or a pause on those things so that you can focus more on building your business to get to the point where you want to be. And then eventually you can ease those things back in, but it's going to require sacrifice. You can't have, this dream career that you want, but then also want to do all the things that is pulling you away from building that. You only have so much time, and the bulk of that time is being used sitting at the 9 to 5. So in order to get out of that 9 to 5, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices to get you to that next step. This could be watching less TV. This could be playing less video games. This could be less hanging out with friends. You have to be willing to say no to something so that you can say yes to something else. And that yes is being a full-time producer. The third thing that you have to keep in mind before making this transition is you have to know your financial goal. What do the numbers look like? What does your expenses look like? How much does it cost you per year to survive and pay your bills and car notes and rent and everything else that you have going on? What is that number for you? What's that freedom number? If you don't have a goal, you don't know what you're shooting for, and you won't know when's the right time to transition because you never had that number in mind. You don't have a goal to shoot for. So write that number down, add up all of your expenses, everything that it requires right now with your day job to survive and live and go about your day. And see what that number is so that you have a goal to shoot towards in your production business. Number 4, use the money you're making from your 9 to 5 and reinvest it back into your business. You're honestly in a great position right now because you can think of your 9 to 5 job as an angel investor or your primary investor, and they're investing into your business. You're getting money from them. You're using other people's money to grow something that's going to make you more money and eventually give you the freedom that you want and being able to produce music and do the things that you love when you want to do it. So take that money that you're making from your job. Yes, of course, pay your bills and things like that, but make sure you're taking some of that money and you're reinvesting it back into your business. This is going to allow your business to grow faster, and it's going to allow you to get to your end goal faster. Some things that you can invest in can include marketing, getting the word out so more people can know about your music and your beats, your store, your website. This can be networking events. This can be courses and information that can help you as far as marketing and growing your business and branding and finding new clients and things like like that. This could be investing in other team members to maybe delegate some tasks so you're not doing everything, or you can have people doing things while you're on your 9 to 5 that's continuously pushing your business forward. And the fifth thing that you want to do, that you definitely want to do, is use your time wisely. Use hacks to get some of your time back. For example, your commute to and from work, depending on where you live and what traffic looks like. I know for me personally, when I had my 9 to 5, it was a good 30, 45 minutes to, and probably even longer back, dealing with rush hour traffic. It's just insane, this traffic in Atlanta. But instead of just sitting in the car, listening to music and just doing nothing productive, I would sit in the car and I would listen to podcasts. I would listen to audiobooks that are helping me, either inspiring me or giving me new information that I could use and apply in my business. So by the time I got home, I already had a ton of ideas that I wanted to start implementing in my business, and I can get right to work once I finish doing what I needed to do at the 9 to 5. You can also use your lunchtime and breaks to do productive things such as podcasts, taking meetings, sending emails, and things like that. Use every bit of time that you have away from your primary responsibilities at the job to work on your business. This is going to help you a lot in growing that business while you're still at the 9 to 5. You don't have to wait until you get home to start working on your business. Okay, so now that we got those things out of the way, let's talk about some indicators of knowing when's a good time to leave your job. Like, how do you know when's a good time to just say, yo, I'm out, I'm jumping into production full time? So here are some indicators that I used to kind of gauge whether or not it was a good time to go ahead and make that leap. So one of the goals that I set for myself, and as an indicator to know when it was a good time to leave the job, was when I consistently made either the same amount or more income from my production business than my day job. Now, a lot of people may think 3 years is a long time, but I wanted to pick 3 years because I feel like if you can see an increase in income 1 year, and that may just have been a great year, and then it could go all the way down the next year, and then you've quit your job and now things are hard. But if I could do that 3 years in a row and continually see either steady income or an increase, then I knew that, with all of my time back, I could definitely do more. And I knew, it was a safe place, and there was a pattern that I was noticing with those 3 years. So I picked 3 years. That's what I was comfortable with. Once I seen 3 years, I was making more than my day job. Then that's when I said deuces to that joint. Another indicator is when things become a lot more challenging to balance between the day job and your business. So for me personally, it got to the point where I was like turning down money in projects and things like that because I literally just did not have the time. It was interfering with, different events that I was being asked to come to and speak at, and it was just getting in the way. And it was consistently happening to where I was like, having to step out to take phone calls, important phone calls for deals and stuff like that. And I was just like, look, this is literally kind of getting in the way. And then as well as even personal things to where, it would have been a better situation to just be full-time at home and doing my own thing versus trying to balance two. So it just starts to really become overwhelming trying to balance the two. So when it starts to get challenging, that may be an indicator that it's time for something to give. So those were the major indicators for me: making that consistent income 3 years in a row, and then it just becoming harder to balance, and then missing out on opportunities to actually make more money in my business because I was tied down to a schedule at the day job. So now let's dig into what you can do to prepare before you actually make the leap and ditch your day job. These are some things that I've used personally and they've worked for me. Hopefully they could work for you as well. So the first thing I did before quitting my job was talking to my wife. Like that, if you're married, that's kind of important. You might want to run that by them before, you come home and say, hey, I quit my job. So definitely made sure I talked to the wife, made sure we were on the same page and agreed before I just quit my job. Another thing we did was paid off any debt that we could just take care of and wipe out to lower our expenses. This was a super dope move because we had some things that, you know, we were making payments on and it was fine, but it was just like, okay, what if we just took care of this, took the extra money that we're making with the business and just cleared off some of the unnecessary monthly payments to lower our expenses. So that's one less thing or two less things or three, whatever, that we have to worry about covering for our monthly expenses. So pay down any, you know, expenses or debt that you can before making that transition. If you still have some things that could be paid off or you know, debt that you want to clear up, go ahead and clear that stuff up while you have the extra income from the business, and you can just put all of that towards that and lower your expenses so that when you are full-time, it's less things to worry about. Another thing I did was save up 6 months worth of all of our expenses. So this is pretty much everything we need every month to live, eat, shelter, clothe ourselves, and things of the sort. So make sure you have all those things saved up. Now, some people recommend like 3 months, but 3 to 6. I wanted 6 because I don't know, like 6 is better than 3, I guess. So this is for that cushion. This is for that time in entrepreneurship where you may have a slow month. You may have a slow couple of months. You don't want to be put in a situation where you quit your job and then you have a bad month and now you have to go get another job to, you know, pay all those expenses and get caught back up. You don't want to be put in that situation. So if you take the time, take the profits that you're making from your business to save up a nice nest egg, 6 months of, you know, emergency funds to pay anything if you have to dig into that, you have it and you have peace of mind because you know if you have those slow months, you're good to go. You still got some money saved up to cover you and you can still do your thing and, you know, be creative. Another important thing I did was research life and health insurance costs and the deadlines to enroll. If you don't know, there are deadlines, and you may know because usually if you have benefits through your day job, there's a deadline for you to enroll. So you have to be mindful of those because if you quit like after that deadline, then you're probably going through the year without insurance unless it's like a special situation. But make sure you check that, make sure you calculate those costs because now that you're a self-employed person, producer, what have you, you're responsible for those things and you can get health insurance. I don't know like why people be freaking out. Like if you quit your job, all of a sudden you have no benefits and you're gonna die the next day. Like no, you can get your own insurance as a self-employed person through, you know, the health insurance marketplace. So you just buy your own plan. It's definitely more expensive than a day job, but you can do it. And the last thing I researched before making this leap into full-time entrepreneurship was retirement. Again, one of those things that people are like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, what about retirement? You can actually create your own personal retirement account. I opened up what's called a solo 401k. It's a 401k specifically for self-employed individuals where you can contribute however much you want to contribute and however often. It's free to open up. I went through TD Ameritrade and I'm able to contribute and, you know, have a retirement account. So every time I get paid from the business, I invest in that retirement account so that when I'm old and I can't make beats like I used to, I can still eat and feed my family, take care of my family, and take care of expenses from that retirement account. So hopefully this information was helpful. I know it can be overwhelming, especially, you know, transitioning, knowing when to transition, knowing what to have set up when it's time to transition. But hopefully this makes it a little bit easier and kind of gives you a guideline of what to expect, what to prepare for, and how to ultimately make that jump into full-time producer land. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe if this video was helpful. And if you haven't already, make sure you join the Airbit Discord community and come hang out with us. The link to that will be in the description below. That's all I have for you today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.